Foreclosures up again. Best ways to fix the foreclosure mess. And Barney Frank's $300 billion bailout plan.
Next on Real Estate News You Can Use.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Real Estate News You Can Use. I'm Ruben, and
Ruben.
This is Keith.
Did you do your taxes today, dude? Did you get them done? You all done?
Done and done.
I gotta tell you, I filed an extension.
Yeah?
Yeah, had to do it.
Making too much money, dude.
Well, it's one of those things that I just want to put off forever. I hate it. I really do, man. Hate the taxes. Hate to pay Uncle Sam.
I totally agree. It's not...
it's just a pain in the neck.
It's not something that you send out with a smile, you know what I mean?
Wouldn't it be a great idea if we didn't ever have to pay any taxes at all, and when we bought something, the tax was in what we purchased? Everything that we purchased, they hiked up the taxes. So if we never bought anything, we wouldn't end up paying taxes. But if we bought something, we'd pay taxes, and we would never have to worry about it. It's called a consumption tax. And I'm a big fan of the consumption tax because I hate to do anything, but I love to buy. So I'd already be paying taxes because of all the things I bought.
But our consumables would be...
What's that?
They'd go up considerably.
The value of the price of the consumer, but you would have more money in your pocket every day.
I guess there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you know?
This is your first time on the podcast. Real Estate News You Can Use is a audio and video podcast about the real estate industry. Me and Keith picked 3 articles. Well, that's 2.
Pick 3.
3 articles that we like to talk about and want to share with you, and we put them on our website for you to also create your own opinion at renewsyoucanuse.com. So let's start with our articles, Keith.
Sure. Foreclosures are up again, Ruben.
57%.
57% from March to March. That's what it was, and up 5% from this past February to March, up 5%. So if there were,
it's growing considerably. Most recently,
that's a 5%. That's significant in 1 month.
Yeah.
That
Considering over the last year, it's been 50%. Right. I mean,
but there were 2 more days in the month of March compared to February. How much does that take into it? Do they actually take that into account?
I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't.
Because historically, if I recall, because of this being leap year, the economy tends to be a better year because of that extra day. Because 1 day does make a difference.
Every day counts.
That's so beautiful.
Well, obviously, this is not something new. If you've been listening to our podcast for a while, the articles have been very consistent. But I did want to pick this article to kind of transition into our next article.
Yes, let's go. Okay? This is a fun article.
This is an awesome article.
It's like quick minis, right?
That's right. By the way, that first article was from Realtor.com, and you can check that out at renewsyoucanuse.com.
Yeah, baby.
Our next article is from CNNMoney.com, and it is the 4 best ways to fix the subprime mess.
Right, and they missed one. We'll get to the last one.
We'll get to that last. Okay, let's go through these quickly. First way, let judges reduce the primary the loans on the property that you own. Right,
what they're basically going to do, Ruben, is that just like if you were going into bankruptcy and the bankruptcy court says, okay, you owe $1 million, we're going to reduce that to $100,000. The same exact thing holds true with this. Let's say they own $500,000 on their house and they can't pay it. They're going to reduce it to $250,000. Next, please.
Pros, it's not going to cost anything to the taxpayers.
It's fast.
But the cons are that the mortgage percentage rates will go up by at least 1.5%
to offset their losses,
according to the MBA, Mortgage Bankers Association.
Again, go to CNN. Go to our website. And click on the
thumbs
CNN.
Up or thumbs down?
I'm going to say thumbs down. Yeah,
yes,
thumbs down.
Thumbs down on that. Okay.
This is the dumbest.
Way number 2. The government is to buy up troubled mortgages and give them small mortgages reflecting those of the current real estate values. The pros of that would be, obviously, a lot of these people would avoid foreclosure.
And they'd be able to live in this house for a lot less money.
And the cons is that the price would actually be fixed.
Right.
It would not cannot go up.
Right.
So basically, the homeowners cannot make money on equity.
Exactly. So let's assume that they purchased the house for $200,000 or $300,000. The house is now worth $200,000. They go back into the courts, they fix it. It's now worth $200,000. They have a loan for $200,000. But once they sell this house, they have to sell it for $200,000. They can't make any money on the value of this house, which it's just.
It's just wrong. Because seriously, I mean, if you have a lot of people foreclosing around you, your house will never go up. The value of your house will never go up.
Yeah, right. And it brings down the value of other houses around you, right? Is that what you just said?
That's what I just said.
Okay.
Thanks for repeating.
Not only that, Ruben, but it'll bring down the houses around that house.
So what do you think?
Total thumbs down.
Total thumbs down on that one.
You know, I'd like to show.
Option number 2.
I'd like to show a graph if I could. Maybe I'll do that. Stand by. There will be a graph that'll show how the curve of how a house will bring one house will bring down other houses.
We gotta get through this.
All right.
Number 3. A bank agrees to write down the mortgages, and the government will give what's called negative amortization certificates to the bank. Basically, if the bank takes a loss of $50,000, the government will pay $50,000 as, let's say, a lien on that property. And when the house sells in the future, the bank has first rights to get whatever that lien was in order to offset that loss.
Okay, the huge con on this one is that it's going to cost $300 billion to do something like this, and that is actually a taxpayer's...
No. That's number 4 you're thinking of.
Am I talking out of my head?
Yes, you are. The big con is that, let's see.
Sorry, Charlie.
Well, obviously the pros is it would help people, stop from foreclosing. The cons are when you sell the house, when you go to sell the house, the homeowner has less incentive to try to beautify their house.
Right, because when the homeowner sells that house, the property value increase actually goes back to the bank.
That's right.
So, up or down, it's almost an up.
Hey.
I'm going to go like this.
Okay. Best way, the next one?
Number 4, best way.
Number 4, okay, go ahead.
Best way to fix the subprime mess is the Federal Reserve effectively buys up bad mortgage debt from banks. It has already started to do this, but it wants to do more of this. And if they continue to do more of this, my phone is ringing. I'm going to shut it off right now. Sorry about that. I apologize.
The pros about this is obviously, again, we're going to have people out of the foreclosure defaults.
And this is the one that costs $300 billion to implement, and it's a huge con because that $300 billion is going to go directly to the taxpayer.
Directly to the taxpayer. Right. This would be a federally backed program, and obviously, a lot of responsible homeowners would be paying for the irresponsible homeowners.
Right. And speaking of that $300 billion, that leads us right to the
next article.
Who brought that to everybody's attention was Barney Frank from Massachusetts, and we actually have a local article about Barney Frank.
From the Boston Herald.
And from the Boston Herald, and it actually gives examples of, how would this actually affect us and affect an individual. So.
Right. So you want to summarize the article, or
why don't you start?
Well, we've already pretty much given the gist. I mean, the government would essentially pay the difference of what maybe the borrower owes and what they can afford. Right. The taxpayers take the huge hit, and obviously, you're spending all this money on the riskiest borrowers. So in fact, they may even default from that loan.
This was a really good, well-written article. I really appreciated it, and it is more of an opinion than an article, and it was written by Michael Graham, and Michael points out a couple things that were interesting. And the number one thing that really stuck in my mind is that 53% of Americans oppose any federal bailout. So here we have all these people trying to create programs, government programs for this bailout, and the majority of Americans don't want to see the government step in and fix the bailout. Let it happen naturally. Laissez-faire.
That is option number 5.
That's our option number 5, Ruben. Our recommendation is basically leave it alone. Let the nature take its course, and the bad stuff will get out of the way, and people will start buying because prices will come down, and it'll come. It's all cyclical. This stuff happens all the time.
That's what Michael Graham actually says in his last article, and you can find this in the Boston Herald, probably bostonherald.com. When it comes to the mortgage mess, doing the right thing means doing nothing.
That's right.
It means letting dumb borrowers and greedy lenders suffer, and I think, hey, that's what we should do.
That's right.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Option number 5. Thumbs down to option number 4.
1 through 4.
Go to renewsyoucanuse.com for the full articles. This is I mean, you should really read this article. Good stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Make it
Adios.
a great day.
Bye.